That is so fucked up. It's fucked up. So fucked up. It is just so damn fucked up. That's fucked up.
I don't have a power bonnet. They told me I wasn't
You're not angry
enough.
enough to have a power bonnet? No. Mm-mm. Hey
No.
guys, welcome. I have a bonnet on. It's a satin bonnet. It's super cute because I have a partial mullet in the back of my head from sleeping all crazy. I thought it was from bleaching my hair, but this little patch just never grows past like 4 inches, despite the length of the rest of my hair. And I realized it's because I sleep like a crazy person. Like literally, I have to change my jammies sometimes like 3 times during the night because I sweat so much sometimes. I have nightmares almost every single night. And I talk out loud and I yell and I mumble and whimper and I go to the same like 5 places weekly. It's always like, I don't want to be there and I don't like the surroundings and I don't like the people I'm with, but I can't get away.
Oh, that's sad.
I know. And that's why I'm probably so angry when I put the bonnet on. You guys, this is all coming from because Fallon told me she doesn't like me in my bonnet.
Because before we joined, I told Ash that I don't like her with her bonnet on. She's so mean in that bonnet. She was giving me a motivational pep talk before we started that sounded like, don't fuck
I was
up.
like, get out of my notes.
Don't fuck it up.
Those are my notes. I worked hard on those. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to That's So Fucked Up, a comedy podcast about cults, crime, and other things that make you say,
That's so
that's
fucked
so
up.
fucked up. We are your hosts. I'm Ashley Love Richards.
And I'm Fallon Morey.
And guess what, bitch? I got some big news to share
Big
with
news.
you and everybody else.
Always all about the big news.
So actually, whatever. You know what? OJ's dead. It's in the title. That's not the news. Okay, you guys. It's honestly, it happened like a week ago by now or something. Anyways, so the news is on Thursday, April 18th, 2024. That's So Fucked Up, the podcast turned 4 years old.
4 years old.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear podcast. Happy birthday to you. Also, this happened before actually we hit 4 years, but I'm really late on making announcements and Lord knows I don't make social media posts in time. So we are now at 1,011,471 downloads. That's right, baby. We hit 1 million.
Which is amazing. Woo!
You know what? When I say we, I mean me, you, all of the listeners, because y'all, I stopped listening to my own episodes probably
3 years, 10 months ago. No.
Yeah, I probably stopped listening like a year in. I was like, I don't want to hear myself. Like I was already there.
Oh, I haven't hit that stage yet. I still go listen to all our episodes. So I count for, 12 of those downloads.
And if you guys are like, what's a download? Do I download? Because I just listen. I don't know. It's a listen, it's a download.
I really thought you were going to give me an answer to the question I've had.
No, it's, it's
forever.
industry jargon that I don't think anybody understands, to be honest. Hey, you guys, let us know if you do. If you know what the fucking difference is, then yeah, hit us up. But anyways, 1 million downloads, 4 years, and we just can't wait to make more weird, fucked up love with you guys.
Because there's so much weird, fucked upness in this world. Today, I wrote down 3 topics on a notebook paper that I heard about since breakfast. So,
and we get such good topic recommendations from our listeners too. And there is just fuck me, not enough hours in the day to tell all the fucked up stories. I think luckily we picked something that will never run out of content. I mean, you could say the same about like shows that just do murder or cults, but also I'd be irritated if I heard about like a crazy plane crash or some weird shit that was really fucked up, but people are like, I don't know. So I like the precedent that was set from the beginning that just anything that is ugh.
And if it makes you say ugh, then we can cover it. I mean, that's pretty broad.
And speaking of the broad ass shit that we cover, I don't know if y'all know, so I'm here to let you know that TSFU Presents, your favorite spinoff series that you've been listening to for the past 16 months, 16 seasons, y'all, cuckoo. I remember when that little spinoff was just a little baby in my eye, like a little twinkle, a baby in my eye.
That's not how that goes.
A twinkle, a twinkle in my tummy. What?
Wait, what?
You know, we've been doing it for, a while. And we've recently decided, because we tend to have so much content on the regular feed, we've got That's So Fucked Up, That's So Fucked Up Presents. We have interviews, which I'm keeping under wraps, but we got a lot of really good ones coming up, you guys. We cover trending cases. There's a lot going on over here. So we wanted to uncongest the feed a little by bringing some of our episodes over to Patreon. And we also just wanted to make the value of the Patreon better for our current and future patrons.
I love a super special secret that's like just mine, like my secret special episodes.
Yeah. And there's kind of a lot of that going on the Patreon now, because I don't know if you know, but there's over 200 episodes on Patreon that are not on the regular feed.
200?
Yes.
Like with 2 zeros?
Mm-hmm.
What?
And there's still 250 listenable episodes on the unpaid feed. So eat your heart out, y'all. But once you're out of those, there's 200 more, and all of them are ad-free.
That's what's in that bonnet. Like all the episodes you're just carrying around with you, all in that bonnet.
Keeping them in my big old bonnet. It's a big bonnet, you guys. I will, you know what? We'll take a picture for the patrons only.
You should.
So that's a Patreon exclusive.
You look like
there.
You're getting ready to go sit for a makeup session before like a 1930s movie or something, like with the cute bow in your head.
I love that so much because I was going to do my makeup for our for the 1 million downloaded 4-year birthday picture. I was going to do those today, but doing makeup and hair is it's a lot of effort, and I just didn't get around to it. But anyways, the point is that Ash Learns the Bible is and has been the exclusive monthly bonus episode on Patreon forever.
That's right.
And now you also still get that, but also, again, you get the second 2 episodes of That's So Fucked Up Presents. The first 2 will come out on the regular feed, and the second 2 will only be on the Patreon. So this month, you guys heard about Project Modern Day Night and Shen Yun and Falun Gong, not Falun Gong, Falun Gong.
Yep. I do not have my own cult with dance origins.
Also, you guys, I would like to say, if you listened to that episode, I am not a scholar of Chinese history. I understand that their history is very complex. I know that with the Chinese Communist Party, a lot of the media is censored. So, there was probably a few allegedlys that should have been thrown into the episode, particularly surrounding organ trafficking. So I just wanted to say that I'm not a perfect person. We know, Ashley. So, especially when it comes to topics that are a little bit more sensitive, because it's a culture that is not my own.
We do our best.
We do our best
to try to read or watch like a bunch of different sources. So typically, like when I'm researching one of my topics, I probably have like 30 plus sources for that, 45 minutes we talk. And that's like hours and hours of reading.
Fallon, when have we ever talked for 45 minutes? That's
okay,
hilarious.
An hour and a half.
Like one time,
My
I think.
point being, like, we can try to represent every point that's out there. But if you especially run into something where it's like from another culture and there's censorship we don't know about, we can only go off what we see and we can't make our own stuff up. So sometimes like we got what we got and we try to do the best to like put it all together.
For sure. So we do try our best to, work with journalistic integrity using reputable and varied sources. But at the end of the day, we are not
journalists.
So if, NPR, that's cracking, they're like, that's real shit over there. This is too. But anywho, so if you want to hear the rest of this season of That's So Fucked Up Presents and following future halves of the seasons, that's hard to say, then head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/TSFU, and stay tuned after this little chat because there is going to be a sneak peek of this week's episode about Kundalini Yoga, which came out on Patreon ad-free on Tuesday. So it's already up on Patreon, ad-free, has been for a few days, but you guys get a little taste of that episode. And again, patreon.com/TSFU if you want to join us. And y'all, this month, if you sign up at the $10 level or higher, or if you're an existing patron at the $5 level and you bump up to any higher level, you get an insulated travel mug. It's not a Stanley Cup because fuck that shit, but it's got all those good things that you guys want. It fits in the cup holder. It's got a straw with a thing that cleans the straw. It's got a handle. It keeps various beverages hot and cold for multiple hours. And of course, it says, "That's So Fucked Up the Podcast." It's beautifully engraved. It comes in black and rose gold. So
it's really adorable. I don't have one, but it's really, really cute.
Fallon doesn't get one.
I don't get one.
Sorry. I love you. But
I will say that I'll order my own, but I am a patron. So I did already get to hear like a little bit of the episode that is coming out after this. And it's really good, y'all. Coming up after this.
Kundalini Yoga. It's not just yoga, you guys, at all. So before we play that preview and do a couple of quick news updates on the death of Orange Juice Simpson, and I'm going to do a little recommendation.
I'm not laughing at death.
That is like
that makes
the least respectful I'm going to be. I don't care. He's a fucking murderer and made a bunch of jokes about it on social media.
No,
so.
I'm not laughing at death. I just did not expect Orange Juice Simpson to come out of your mouth.
That's like because I am respecting his family.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. But anyways, that's coming up. So really quick, let us please say thank you. Oh my gosh, y'all, you are, I can't. We have to say thanks to all of our new patrons: Savannah, Jen, Ashley, Cassie, Melissa, Jennifer, Britt, Nilsa, Lily, Karen, Tay, and Stephanie, and Jimmy bumped up. So did Robin and Aaron. And who else joined?
Alexis, Lacey, Kara, Savannah, Lindsay, Toby, Keely, Maya, Nikki, Christina, and Stay. Hopefully I'm saying that right.
Get the fuck out of here.
So many names.
Like, what?
What is going on? We love you guys.
Oh my gosh. Also, Kristen and Peggy and Crystal and Laura bumped up. So did Kim
Wow.
and Stacy and Britt and fucking Tay and Melissa. I think we might have already said them. No, it's a different Melissa. There's like 2 Melissas and 2 Savannahs. And
what
y'all
is going on in this world?
You were just
it's amazing. We love it. We love you.
You're amazing. We love you so much. We appreciate to the max. Y'all don't even know. Okay, real quick about OJ. He died on...
That was a quick jump. You don't even know. All right, OJ.
Well, you know,
Heartbreak.
Like, get to the episode.
You guys are amazing, but OJ was not. And here we go.
He wasn't, and he's dead, and I'm not upset. He died on April 10th after being diagnosed with prostate cancer last year, and he was 76 years old. From his Twitter account, it says, on April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asks that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. The Simpson family. So, it says that he was surrounded by children and grandchildren. Mm-hmm. However, his attorney, Malcolm Laverne, said that only one person was there, and it's an unidentified close family member that I guess doesn't want it known that they were there because Laverne has not said what family member it was.
Interesting. I have to wonder, like, does he only have kids from his marriage to Nicole?
Well, it's funny that you should ask Fallon, because if you want to hear an episode about OJ and all of his crimes and his relationships with his children and everything, there's an episode on Patreon.
Okay.
Get the fuck out. Isn't that crazy? Patreon.com/TSFU.
That's a good idea. I will totally listen to it. I probably
you should
did
go
already.
listen to that episode because you're already a patron.
I am a patron. Y'all, I'm a patron. You can be a patron too.
It's so fun. Also, but lastly, because this episode is a hodgepodge.
It is.
Have you seen Baby Reindeer? And I'm guessing not, because I'm guessing you would have fucking said something to me if you had.
No, I have not. And I thought you were going to say, and I'm guessing you haven't because you never see anything that I think you should. I'll add it to the list. That's what's going to be on Fallon's TSFU t-shirt. I'll add it to my list.
I don't know if I should tell you about it or...
Just tell me like a little, like what's it about? I'm not going to watch it if I think it's a nature documentary. Baby Reindeer.
No, I know. It's the name was a turnoff for me as well, but you learn pretty quickly why it's called Baby Reindeer. So it came out about a week ago on Netflix, April 2024. I highly 10 out of fucking 10 recommend it, you guys. It shows just how problematic stalking is. And this is the third thing this year that Netflix has put out about stalking. We had Lover-Stalker-Killer in January, which we have an episode about, you guys. That's just on the regular feed, episode 145. I will link that in today's show notes. Fallon told me about that case, and it's
mind-blowing.
It was like one of the craziest things you've ever told me. I was the whole time like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, we had to pause. We had to take a moment like midway through.
Oh, that one is so cuckoo, you guys. And then in February of this year, Can I Tell You a Secret came out, which is a docuseries about a man who was like really scarily stalking women online. And Baby Reindeer is it's like a series. It's not a docuseries.
Yeah.
But it's very, very much based on real life. The man who went through the experience of getting stalked, and no spoilies, I will just say that in the first 3 episodes, you're like, what's fucking wrong with this guy? He's doing like a lot of fucked up shit that's kind of like adding fire to the situation. And I feel like I'm probably speaking on behalf of a lot of people when I'm saying that, like, you're sitting there kind of in judgment, like, what the fuck? Like, he's so, and he says in interviews that he really wanted to show that it wasn't just her, that he inappropriately led her on at times and stuff, because we find out in the 4th episode that he has, I'm not a fucking doctor, but I would guess maybe complex trauma, if not at least PTSD from a very abusive situation that he was in. And it's we just kind of heard about something similar with Drake Bell in the Nickelodeon episode. Basically, I think a lot of things are coming out recently that are showing that men are so often victims as well. And I'm so, so glad that that's finally becoming something that's talked about more.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that there's like such a stigma in a different way than for women, for men being able to say like, I was in an abusive situation, or because there's such this like, you're not a tough guy if you were you're never going to admit that you were in an abusive situation because like you're supposed to be tougher than that, or like you're not supposed to be scared of a woman. But like if that woman is burning her own house down and like hurting people and murdering people, then yeah, you should be fucking scared of her.
Also, you guys, that's very real example from episode 145 on the documentary Lover-Stalker-Killer. Hypothetically, if somebody is burning houses down and murdering people, you should freak out.
I mean,
so the man who went through this crazy stalking ordeal and this abusive situation is the fucking lead actor. He plays like a fictionalized version of himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote the show actually based off of 2 different award-winning performances that he did at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Okay.
One of them was called Monkey See, Monkey Do, which was about his sexual abuse. And then he did another show called Baby Reindeer about his stalking situation. And then Netflix approached him and was like, do you want to make this a show? So, I would like to give Netflix a little round of applause because I shit on their documentaries a lot because they, in the past, have made some really fucking irresponsibly
created
shit.
Very one-sided, like victim blamey, biased documentaries.
Bullshit.
Yes.
And I was for a while just like, you know what? I'm really starting not to be down with y'all's docs. But this year, they're really showing how problematic stalking is. And, Lover-Stalker-Killer and Baby Reindeer both center around men who are victims. So I think these are really important important topics being brought up. And I'm so glad to see that. You guys, this show is so, so good. But it's 7 episodes. I think they're like 35 minutes episodes or each.
He's actually the guy, but the storyline is like quasi fiction. So he's like acting it out, but it's based on a real experience.
He said that like very little is changed, that this story is basically what his life was like for like during his 20s.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there thinking, like, how do you fucking relive your trauma by playing yourself and going through all that shit? But he said in an interview, and I linked an article, a Times article that has interview quotes from him from both The Guardian and The Independent, maybe. Fuck, I don't know. GQ? I don't know. But anyways, it has a few different quotes from him. And yeah, he said that barely anything in the show has changed. It's number 2 right now. So,
oh, wow.
And it's been on the top 10 since it came out. It started a little bit higher and has been working its way down. And yeah, it's really, really fucking good. So if you guys don't mind something intense and you need something to watch this weekend, I highly recommend. And if you need something to listen to, I recommend that you listen to episode 145 on Lover-Stalker-Killer and or join our Patreon and listen to our episode about Kundalini, which don't touch that dial because that little preview is coming up right meow. And also, if you want to hear the whole OJ story, then
hop on over to that Patreon.
On the Patreon. So
That's right.
patreon.com/TSFU. Thank you so much, you guys, to all of the patrons that we thanked earlier. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for bumping up. Y'all, we have over 1 million listens, downloads now. That was only some of those were me and Fallon. That was mostly you guys. So we could not have done that without you.
Like at least, like no more than 35% of those were were me and Ash. JK.
And, you know, over the course of 4 years, I have had the opportunity to work with a lot of amazing co-hosts and editors and researchers. And I just want to give a big shout out to our team.
Yes.
Our researchers, our editors, our production assistant. Like, y'all, I'd like to thank the Academy. And last but not least, my personal Lord Savior, Jesus.
Oh, I thought you were going to say me, and I was going to say, you're welcome. No.
Jesus Christ, baby. Jesus Christ. All goes to him. Thank you, Jesus. I'd most like to thank fuck.
Thank fuck?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I thought that
Because
was
I
a
don't like to say
mistake.
God.
So you said fuck instead.
Yeah. I think it's a good substitute. So that's all we got, you guys. Have a great weekend. Right?
That's right. Have a great weekend.
And, that's all, folks.
As usual, you leave me in giggles right at the end.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
But stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to That's So Fucked Up Presents, a spin-off series of That's So Fucked Up, a respectful comedy podcast about cults, crime, and other things that make you say, ugh, that's so fucked up. And in That's So Fucked Up Presents, every month, generally for the most part, sometimes it's like a 6-week thing, you know, but for the most part, every month we have a topic that we go through. Sometimes it's one long story that's detailed over 4 episodes, although that's a little bit more rare. Generally, we have a theme where we do 4 different episodes. This season is called Sinister Sects. Hope that y'all have been listening. It's been a really good season. So far, we've talked about Project Modern Day Night with Alicia from Twisted and Uncorked. We've also talked about Shen Yun with Caitlin from Pacific Northwest Haunts and Homicides, and Lindsay from Ye Old Crime. And today, we are going to be talking about kundalini yoga, which is, y'all, it's fucked up. And we are joined by my friend and fellow podcaster whose skills and tenacity I admire greatly, Trevin. Hi, Trevin.
Hey, thanks for the kind words about the tenacity and all that.
Yeah. Dude, me and you, not to say that other people are not, but we're out here hustling hard, trying to make this a career.
Yeah.
So you guys, you know, patreon.com. Can they find you on Patreon? What's your fucking show?
I'm with the show Live, Laugh, Larceny, and we do not have the Patreon set up yet, but we are very close to having all of the ads out of our original recordings so that I can put them in, and so we can do the ad-free thing, and we should be able to jump on that pretty soon.
Okay, so you guys, I've literally been telling Trevin for like a year or 2 that I will help him set up a Patreon. But that's awesome, Trevin. Yay. I'm glad. You deserve that support. You guys, indie podcasters fucking thrive on your support, whether that's recommending us to your friends and family, leaving us a review is super awesome. If you can't on your platform like Spotify, get your shit together. Ratings are always amazing. And patreon.com/TSFU if you would like to support us. And I actually don't know why I'm saying that because Trevin, this is our first ever Patreon exclusive episode of That's So Fucked Up Presents.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is our, I want to say 17th season of That's So Fucked Up Presents, which blows my mind. I feel like it was just a twinkle in my eye just yesterday.
Oh man, speaking of eyes, can I just say your eyes are so twinkly? Like your hair brings out your eyes so much since you've changed it.
Thank you. You guys, I got bangs. Well, you probably see that on the cover. Actually, Apple hasn't updated it yet. They're being annoying.
You might need to send them an email. I had to do it twice.
Hopefully I have fixed that by the time this comes out, but knowing me, there's a good chance I haven't. Anyways, you guys, it's pretty cool. Trevin, tell them a little bit more about Live Laugh Larceny and where they can listen and stuff.
So we are Live Laugh Larceny, a true petty crime podcast. It's me and one of my best friends, Amanda. Okay, so it's a variety comedy show where we do millennial dreadful dilemmas. We tell some funny facts or some true facts, killer facts, and then we each present a petty story to each other where we take either dumb criminal stories or just like petty acts of revenge, and we construct them into short stories that we tell to each other, and then we discuss them afterwards. And we discuss them in a way that you would almost like a Naked Gun sort of way. It's overly dramatic. We want to take things that aren't serious, but treat them the same way that true crime podcasts would treat a murder. But it would be something like stealing somebody's cell phone. Or one example I like to use a lot is I did a story about a girl who got called for a booty call. She showed up to the guy's house and he fell asleep, didn't answer the door. So she went to the gas station and got gasoline and a lighter, came back and lit his house on fire right after texting him and saying that she was going to do it. So
wow.
Yeah, so she was easily caught. But we took that story and made it very dramatic. And a lot of our stories have morals. So that one was all about not
burning people's houses down, just giving them a little grace if they fall asleep. Maybe.
That's our twist in it. But yeah, it was mostly just about, having those lonely nights and getting those booty calls and stuff like that. Putting yourselves in the shoes of the criminal and trying to understand what they went through a little bit.
Yeah, why? And I don't know why you're not mentioning this, because I think it's one of the best parts, is you do amazing sound design. So when you tell these stories, it's like, and they were walking up to the house, crunch, 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 like leaves on the ground and shit. You guys, I don't like editing audio. I'm not a fan, but Trevin is a fan, and you can tell in his work because it's very fucking well produced. And I always really appreciate a well produced indie podcast.
I do too. Anytime I find other people doing it, it always brightens my day too. But for the first, oh my gosh, I think it was about the first 100 episodes. I think all of the songs in the background were all originally written and recorded by me. Then I was kind of getting tired of my own songs. So now I use royalty free stuff, but it gives me a lot more to work with because now I'm starting to do, my stories are starting to feel like mini movies where the music can change with the tone and everything too, instead of just using my background music. So it's really evolved a lot.
I love that. You guys listen to the amount of creativity this man puts into the podcast. Also, Amanda is a fucking treasure. She's just got kids and a whole lot of shit going on, right? So it's just usually me and you, Trevin, but I'm very happy with that. Yeah, you talk about millennial problems or whatever. Recently on an episode, you said something crazy.
Uh-oh.
Trevin was like, I just feel like I look really good in the Target checkout camera.
Oh, yeah.
And Amanda was like, you're insane. And I promptly was like, yeah, agreed. And then I sent Trevin a picture of me in the Target checkout line.
Yeah, you did.
Was it good?
It was not a better version of you, I didn't think.
It wasn't. You guys, shout us out if you find that you look good in checkout cameras, because that's a no for me.
It's a gritty filter, and anytime you look, it's almost like a filter, and then you look at it and you see the security stuff and you think, oh, if I'm looking at this, that means a bad boy must be on this screen. So then I kind of feel like I'm a bad boy who's got a gritty filter look to him. I'm usually wearing a hoodie because I'm at Walmart and just trying to get the hell out. So I feel like
edgy.
I blend in with it, and it looks good on me, I think.
I feel like the filter that they use at my local Target ages me by 20 years and makes me look super tired. So I hope that it's incorrect. I think it is.
I think it's incorrect.
Anyways, I don't think I said, but y'all would know. Obviously, that's Trevin, and I'm Ashley Love Richards, your host. Yeah, so 17 seasons, 16. This is 17. I'm 90% sure about that. Of That's So Fucked Up Presents. And oh man, it has been such a cool ride. But we're starting a monthly mental health segment where we're going to be interviewing mental health experts and creatives and just like positive shit, Trevin, because all I do all the time is focus on the world's worst. And I'm just like, you know what? I know that a lot of my listeners can relate to, mental health struggles and stuff. So I'm like, let's get positive.
Let's get unfucked up.
Yeah. That's so not fucked up. Cool. So, I just feel like there's a lot of content on the feed already. And like I was saying, us indie creators really thrive on y'all's support. Not going to lie, hoping this Presents segment brings you guys to the yard.
Like my milkshake.
Yeah, because it's like as good as a milkshake, I think.
Well, I don't know much about it, so I hope we'll see at the end if I feel like it's as good as a milkshake. Because that's saying a lot.
I love a milkshake. So we're talking about kundalini yoga today. Have you heard of this?
No, but it sounds like a pasta.
Kundalini.
Yeah.
Fettuccine. Yeah. Okay. I can feel that. Unfortunately, pasta is cool and delicious, and this is hot garbage that sucks.
Oh.
So there's a big difference between the kundalini yoga and the potential kundalini pasta. So let's just get into it because we got a lot to say.
I'm ready.
Kundalini yoga was introduced to the Western world by Yogi Bhajan. It's a practice that brings together repetitive physical postures, intense breathing work, and repetition of sacred mantras. It's supposed to awaken our Kundalini Shakti, or serpent power, which is supposed to be a latent energy within all of us that's waiting to be fucking unleashed so that we can grow spiritually and transform. You into it?
My long dormant serpent power.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to unleash it, but I think I would probably get canceled.
Haven't we all? Considering they both have been pretty canceled.
Oh.
I would say, don't unleash the Kundalini serpent because it's a douche.
Okay.
It's supposed to increase vitality and resilience, and maybe it does, but it does not increase calmness or self-awareness.
Oh no.
At least in the leaders. I don't want to say in the practitioners because, reminder that in cults, the leaders are the perpetrators and the followers are the victims. Just always like to remind people of that. So this is a story about Yogi Bhajan and Guru Jarat, who will get to being hot pieces of garbage. And other things that came with Yogi Bhajan's version of Kundalini, because Guru Jarat switched it up a little bit later. Who doesn't love a rebrand? But they would wear turbans and all white, which people often would mistake them for being Sikhs. But Sikhs don't wear all white. They do wear head turbans, but it's Kundalini yoga practitioners that wear all white and the head turbans. So that was their vibe back then. Although I think when Guru Jarat came around, which just so you're not like, who the fuck is that? She took over later. She was like a fucking hipster in her 20s.
Oh, so it was that
wild.
Kind of reboot.
Dude, it's cuckoo. I can't wait to tell you about it. So with a lot of emphasis on breathing and inward focus and mantra, it becomes more meditative in nature. I actually heard a guy in a documentary that I was watching call it Get High Yoga. He said, if you raise your arms for 3 minutes straight and do deep, heavy breathing exercises, you're going to kind of get stoned.
Oh, yeah.
And then also Yogi Bhajan used neuro-linguistic programming, which is like a sort of hypnosis. And it can apparently be used for good, but hypnosis can also be used for nefarious purposes. And I would say if you looked back at people like Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, which it blows my mind that this guy doesn't get brought up as much as him, because do you know who that is, Osho?
The name's very familiar.
He had the cult in Oregon and took over the town, Wild Wild Country. Netflix.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't watch it.
Whatever, Trevin. Also, the cult documentaries are my life, so
yeah. So that one's called Wild Wild Country?
Yeah, and it came out years ago, but it's 6 parts, and I swear I've watched it half a dozen times because it's fascinating. Although I will say, I also did a 2-part episode with Caitlin from PNW Haunts and Homicides.
Oh, love her.
She's so sweet. About Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, who later rebranded to Osho. Cult lovers, particularly the, yoga gurus, they love a rebrand.
Mm-hmm.
His story is so well known and the documentary is so well done, but he sexually abused a fuck ton of women, and a lot of children were sexually abused in the compound as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that really got skipped over in the documentary.
Oh, I hate that. I hate when you know something and you're just like, well, this one, this will make the documentary more interesting. And then they don't even really bring it in. And it's like, why did you do this?
I'm guessing you haven't watched Quiet on Set.
I watched it.
Oh, you have?
I actually did watch that one.
Okay. So how much do you feel for Drake, right?
Oh, yeah. I feel a lot on that one.
Right. So I also really feel for Drake. What he went through was Drake Bell. I guess we should say, because Drake is the singer.
Yeah, not the singer.
But
well, he's a singer too.
That's right. He has a band. So what the documentary did a super good job of glossing over, because I was Team Drake Bell. I was debating this with my co-host Fallon. I was like, he's disgusting though. And she was like, well, I think you can still feel for what happened to him as a child. And, glad that he's coming forward with his story to expose this, but he groomed a 12-year-old and then sexually assaulted her when she was 15.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it almost makes you wonder if that was part of the thing that got him to come on to do the documentary. It's just well, I'll help tell this story for you, but I want to try to clear my name a little bit with that too. I don't know.
But
that's just a thought.
You know what would have cleared his name to me is if he gave a heartfelt fucking apology to that victim in the documentary, because I read the court statement and he said, I am sorry that I caused harm to the victim, but I obviously didn't intend any harm. And I was like, oh, wow. So you're doing to her what was done to you.
Ew, don't put obviously in there. Gross.
I feel like if he was going to paint himself as a victim, which he absolutely fucking was, I just feel it was irresponsible to gloss over the fact. Also, because maybe that could have been a discussion about the fact that sometimes the product of grooming and abuse is that hurt people go on to hurt people. It just really disappointed me.
That would have been a great thing to have leaned into and explained more.
Yeah, I just was like,
Because it did feel really weird because they said that and then it really did seem like yada yada, and they just got away from it real quick. And I thought, wait a minute, I feel conflicted. But the music and everything focused on the other issue. So then I'm like, well, obviously, because you and I always talk about this when we do this documentary thing, is you can feel the story they're trying to tell with the music and the editing, and there's a story they're trying to tell. So you could just tell that was not in it, and just to even mention it just kind of put a weird bump in the road for me, that from that point on, it gave me conflicting feelings, but I feel like maybe somebody who doesn't read into it too deeply and just went with the flow and the music and, just kind of followed the emotions of the documentary might have glossed over it too, like it wasn't anything. And I haven't done the research on it, but I wanted to after watching that, because I thought, when you don't say anything, it alludes to something bigger. And it's just the wording really just put a huge question mark in my head.
Yeah, I was just imagining how his victim must feel watching him getting so much sympathy in the media for what he went through. And she's sitting there yeah, he did that to me. It just, obviously, it was a well-produced documentary. I think it told a lot of things that needed to be exposed, but also ID has an amazing job of really painting a story that they choose to paint So whenever I do watch ID documentaries, I do some extra research because I'm like, what are you fuckers leaving out?
Yeah. When I saw that was
Anyways,
coming out, I was actually like on the fence about watching it, but I was like, I really want to watch and learn about this, but I was really kind of disappointed that it was ID. I was like, I wish it was like Netflix or
I know,
HBO or something.
I want to boycott them, but then they keep covering things that I'm interested. Damn it. Anyways, that's besides the point. We're talking about Yogi Bhajan. Although big similarity between Quiet on Set, the Nickelodeon documentary, and Yogi Bhajan is a lot of abuse of women and children. Man, those are just cult hallmarks. And I'm not saying Nickelodeon is a cult, but I could almost argue that the way there's this like Hollywood secrecy of like fucking kids, I would almost argue, it checks off some of the cult boxes.
Well, I mean, not even that far into it, but just like the way Hollywood works and people like, working for free, and it is very cult-like in the way that somebody with their power dynamics in the city and everything. It's
totally.
Yeah, even without talking about the children stuff, just the power dynamics is very culty.
Yeah. So here we go, you guys. Again, first Patreon exclusive TSFU Presents episode. So super glad you guys are here and hope you like it because we're really going, I swear. I'm telling this fucking story. Also, Trevin, one of my first merch items that I ever made said it's not just yoga, you guys, because I kept covering these fucking cult leaders that were like yoga gurus who were actually giant fucking cult leaders. And I remembered I've taken a couple of these classes.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Like 9 years ago, very early in sobriety, I knew a kid that I went to rehab with who got super into this and joined this cult. And then I went to a couple classes. And I swear to God, I am so lucky because I was interested, but it's pretty physically demanding. It's a lot of heavy breathing and shit.
Oof,
and
yeah.
I'm lazy. So I was like, being broke and or lazy has probably stopped me from being in so many fucking cults.
That's a good silver lining for sure.
It's worked out for me in that sense. And before we get this story started, I just want to give a quick trigger warning because we do play an audio clip later in the show where we hear some very intense ideas around sexual assault. Okay, so Kundalini yoga has been going on for, I don't know, 60 years, something.
Okay, I was expecting longer, actually.
Well, about like 1970, 68. So 60, 40, 55. So that's, so it's been going on for like 55 years.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the abuse and fucked upness was only exposed in 2020. So very recently. In 2020, a former employee of his who was also a victim, I guess, can you be somebody's lover and their victim?
I would say.
Okay. And also one of his lovers, as he had many. She published a book called Premka, White Bird in a Golden Cage, My Life with Yogi Bhajan. And it had accusations of sexual battery, rape, fraud, and child molestation. So trigger warning on this episode, you guys. This dude is a douche, and we're going to go a little further into that. So he's got the classic cult leader characteristics going on. He didn't give a shit about divinity and whatnot. He wanted power, money, and sex. His saying was obey, serve, love, excel.
Wow, the excel surprises me.
Well, I think it's through the serving and obeying that you learn to love and then you excel.
Because he excels you.
Yeah.
Okay.
With your serving and obeying of him.
Okay.
Have you ever had yogi tea? Delicious.
I'm sure I have. I went through a tea kick, but I can't remember what brands I drank.
Yogi tea lemon ginger used to be a staple in my house. You know what? This fuck owned that company. He started it.
Whoa.
He is a con man, a shrewd businessman, and he was highly connected in politics and religion. It's wild.
Are they one of the packages where like on the back it tells like his story? I feel like a lot of those do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Ugh.
He was, known and respected by people such as the Pope and the Dalai Lama and multiple presidents such as Clinton, because I saw him with Clinton in a clip. But I know he was buddy-buddy with other ones too. So let's talk a little bit more about how this guy came around. In 1968, Harbhajan Singh Puri, a 39-year-old Punjabi Sikh and former customs officer at New Delhi's airport, arrived in the U.S. from India. When he was a customs officer, he met a Canadian who was looking for a yoga teacher to hire for like a fucking center he was opening or something.
Mhm.
By the way, my theory is that the Beatles led to the yoga cults in America because they were the first Western people to go to India and be like, holy shit, you get enlightened there. Oh, blah, 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 we have a guru. And then everybody else started going. So I think
they made it very trendy.
love the Beatles, but I blame them too. Blame the Beatles, you guys, if you're in a yoga cult.
Is that your next bit of merch? Blame the Beatles?
Blame the Beatles. Ooh, that's good. That's good. So he was offered a job and went to work in Canada in 1968. Soon after was in LA starting his fucking bullshit. He told people that he was a revered holy man back in India and that he's part of an ancient lineage of kundalini yoga masters, except for kundalini is some fucking bullshit mishmash that he fucking made up. So I call horseshit.
Do they break down what the name might mean or anything? Or like how he may have
I
came
feel like
up
he
with it?
probably just made it up and was like, that means serpent power. I feel like that sounds pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Also, he had a thing with like drawing dicks.
Don't we all?
Don't we all? He was like fucking Jonah Hill, who's terrible, by the way, you guys. But when he was funny and super bad, he was like the kid drawing dicks. This motherfucker's drawing dicks and balls all the time. I saw a picture where he drew a dick and inside of it, there was a lady. And then next to it, he wrote power. And I was like,
A
you
lady
sound
in
like
the
a
ball
rapist.
sack?
She was in the penis.
Oh, okay.
So
That is power.
yeah.
I don't get the metaphor, I don't think.
No, me
Well, I
neither.
guess the lady makes it move.
Well, I just think like the lady's all tiny and the penis is big.
Oh,
I think
okay.
maybe
I was thinking like the woman was literally inside of a big penis.
she's like a little figure drawn in the big penis picture.
Okay, I was thinking like you were saying like the woman was drawn inside of a big penis. And I thought that's a really weird art.
No, I think it was very much like, bitches are tiny and dicks and the men attached to them are big and powerful and awesome.
I get what you're saying now. Like the Washington Monument.
He was misogynist, which is pretty unusual in our society, but
Yeah, it's rare.
yeah, he was rocking that attitude. And he started calling himself Yogi Bhajan because nothing's cooler than a self-given nickname.
So true.
So the form of kundalini yoga that he talked about in also, I'm sorry, this is the lamest branding. He called it 3HO. So 3HO is a nonprofit that he founded in 1969, which when sketchy organizations start nonprofits, it's generally just to like steal and funnel money. And 3HO stands for healthy, happy, holy. Isn't that cute?
Oh, healthy, happy,
Aw,
holy.
who doesn't want to be all those? Right?
I know I do.
I know. He took from Sikhism and Buddhism and Hinduism and kind of gave them a little new age flavor, as popular Western yoga gurus often like to do.
Just good marketing.
I mean, that's the thing. Like he was a good con person.
Mm-hmm.
He also used tantric yoga, which is a type of yoga that's like a partner yoga. Can you
Yeah,
do
like
it
a
by
sexy
yourself?
sort of thing.
It's the sexy yoga. It's a lot of eye contact and breathing. It would make me incredibly fucking uncomfortable because I hate prolonged eye contact with a deep hatred. Like, can you look the fuck away from me? Stop trying to dig into my soul, you freak. Wouldn't work for me. But also, remember, this is LA. It's the late 60s. Everybody's like, fuck the system. Let's do drugs and fuck. So people were like into this. And the Beatles were like, hey, get a guru. So it's perfect. It's perfect. It's a perfect storm, you know?
Yeah, LA is a very fad place, so makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So he claimed that he was celibate. Don't they fucking all? But rumors of his fucking being a sexual predator had been going around for years, especially that he was kind of creating almost like a harem out of his mostly female staff.
Oh, no.
They would travel with him and attend to his needs, which I'm sure he had many of.
His serpent needs.
His serpent power needs, yeah. And they were devoted to him as if he was God and didn't really have lives or families of their own outside from catering to him. And it's estimated that he assaulted over 100 million. What? That'd be a lot.
100 million?
Jesus, that's damn.
That's so fucked up.
That'd be wild. Still super insanely fucked up. Over 100 women, like serial rapist. And, you know, with that kind of thing, the number is always so much fucking higher than whatever it is on paper.
Yeah, there's no way that they uncover every single one.
No, so many people will take years and years and years to come forward, or they'll never come forward, either because they're ashamed or afraid, or because trauma has a really good way of blocking things out and being like, that didn't happen. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go with that version because I need to cope with life. It's crazy. The brain is wild.
Agreed.
He encouraged, aka forced his followers to be vegetarian, but he loved to collect things like animal furs and ivory, you know, just super ethical stuff.
That's kind of weird. So he was also vegetarian, but he just liked to have that stuff?
Was he a vegetarian, or was he having a little fucking bacon on the side?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't trust fucking anything about this guy.
Yeah, that's true. I just didn't know if it was something where he's like, I can have it and you can't, which I'm sure that's probably what it is.
Well, that's cult leaders with most things to their followers. I can have this and you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he was very fucking well regarded in politics, which is insane, probably because he had a lot of money. Because like I said, he was a really good businessman. He had the Siri Singh Sahib Corporation, which included Yogi Tea and a security firm called Akal Security, which is the biggest judicial security contractor in the U.S.
Really? No, I had no idea about that.
Clients include the Department of Homeland Security, Department of Justice, and the Department of Defense.
Wow. That and tea. Two very different companies to run.
Yeah, but both making bank.
Yes.
It's wild stuff.
Jeez.
And like a true hypocrite, and very much so like our buddy Bhagwan, he preached a spiritual life, yet hoarded millions of dollars and tons of like fancy jewelry and luxury cars. Also, I could say that he has that in common with a lot of evangelical pastors.
Exactly what I was thinking. Yep.
I feel a pattern. Do you smell that, Trevin?
I was just going to say it's the American way.
You know what? Prosperity gospel, my friends. If you are blessed and rich, it's because God is shining on you. And if you're poor, it's because you're a piece of dirt and a sinner and you need to do better.
Yeah. In that sense, the prosperity gospel in my mind has always just been God is money.
Have you ever watched that show, The Righteous Gemstones?
Yes.
On Max?
I haven't watched the newest season, but I've watched the first 2, 3.
I want it to be so much better than it is because I feel like it has such good potential, but it just didn't keep my attention. But Adam Devine in it, fucking pretending to be a homie from, the one who was like buddies with Hillsong, Justin Bieber.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Carl Lentz, the cool, hip, young, fucking hipster pastor who actually wears the same kind of fucking like fake Jeffrey Dahmer glasses as Guru Jarat, the later hipster leader of Kundalini, and Gwyneth Paltrow when she was at a fucking trial for accidentally, for sure, but killing somebody.
What's up with those glasses? Like, how have they not gone away?
I don't know. Also, she sucks. Goop is a cult.
Have you done a Goop episode? Or are you waiting? Gotta get worse?
We have a Goop episode in our future.
Okay.
In January of 2020, his legacy was just completely fucked, like I said, by that book that came out and just exposed a shit ton Up until then, there had been whispers, but he had just been like, fucking doing his thing and having everybody think he was super cool for his whole fucking life. I mean, he got away with it.
So the book is what broke it? It broke the news?
The book. Yeah.
Okay.
So in 2020, this just fucking brought this shit out. Super, super nice. Also, this has now been publicized as video footage on YouTube that I watched, and it was highly disturbing. He said, "Rape is always invited. A person who is raped is always providing subconsciously the environments and the arrangements."
That is, I don't even know how to explain, like, what to say to that. That's so...
Literally, what do you say to that?
What prompted you to say this quote, It's like, hey, what do you want for dinner tonight? And he's like, rape is, like, why are you telling people this? Like, I guess it was probably just probably one of his like passages or something that he told his people.
It was during a lecture.
Oh, okay.
He was like, a lot of people have asked about this and I've never talked about it, but you know what? Hold on. I'm going to play it to you real quick.
There's a last point which I want to discuss with you. It is about rape. I have heard a lot of different versions. And some people have asked me a lot of questions, and I never answered that. Today I want to talk to you about it. First of all, nobody can be raped until you do not invite it. Rape is always invited, it never happens. A person who is raped is always providing subconsciously the environments and the arrangements. If you do not provide the circumstances and the arrangements, it is impossible.
Wow. Okay. That's even worse than what I was thinking. Like, just why are you preaching this to people?
Yeah. So that's just kind of like a peek into who this guy was when he was just preaching all like, oh, love and light and travel light, live light, spread the light, be the light. Yet he's, raping and whatnot. We hope you guys enjoyed that sneak peek. And remember, if you want to hear the rest of this episode, plus 200 episodes that are not available on the feed, plus all of the episodes ad-free, monthly bonus episodes, stickers, cards, keychains, all kinds of stuff, patreon.com/TSFU.
Bum, 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 bum. That's fucked up. I'm so fucked up. Can't you see? It's just really fucked. That's fucked up.